morning, children. Hope you all stay safe in home. My name is Saranya. I'm going to teach social, okay? In the last class, we saw about history, right? So, history first lesson is over. So, today we'll start political life, okay? In political life, first lesson is understanding diversity. We'll see what is understanding diversity. Okay, children, we'll go. First, how are people different from region, religion, language, culture, then looks. So these are the things we differ from each other, right? Region, religion, language, culture, and looks. These differences enrich our lives and make India interesting and diverse. Similarities. What does mean by similarities? We'll see. We differ in many ways, but in many ways we are alike. We'll, s- we'll see one story regarding this similarity, okay? The story is I had meant it as a joke made up for a small ragged boy who sold newspapers at the Janpat crossing at the busy intersection. Every time I cycled past, he would run after me, holding out the English newspaper and screaming out the evening's headlines in a mixture of Hindi and English words. This time I stopped by the pavement and asked for the Hindi paper. His mouth fell open. So he saw one boy in the traffic jam. The boy is selling newspaper. So he asked for Hindi newspaper. He was shocked. Why means? You mean you know Hindi? He asked. Of course, I said. I paid for the paper. Why? What did you think? He passed. But you look so angrious. He said, you mean you can even read Hindi? Of course I can. I said this time a little impatiently. I can speak, read, and write Hindi. Hindi is one of the subjects I studied in school. Subjects? He asked because he didn't go for the school, no? So he don't know what is subjects. So he's asking, how could I explain what a subject was to someone who had never been to school? Well, it is something, he said. I began, but the lights changed and hanging behind me grew hundredfold, and I let myself be pushed along with the rest of the traffic. The next day, he was there again, smiling at me and holding out a Hindi paper. Bhaiya, he said, आपका अकबर आपका आपका अकबर आप बताइए सब्जेक्ट क्या चीज़ है? The English word sounded strange on his tongue. It sounded like its other meaning in English, to be ruled by someone else. So he's asking, what is subject? Please explain me. So like that he asked. Next, oh, it's just something to study, I said. And then, because the red light had gone on, I asked him, have you ever been to school? Never, he answered. And he added proudly, I began working when I was so high. He measured himself against my cycle seat. So he's telling when I'm started working when I was like this, he's showing. When I'm this height, I'm started working like that. He showed the measure of the cycle seat. First, my mother used to come with me, but I can do all it alone. So, first, her mother will come along with him, but now he is doing alone. Where is your mother now? I asked. But then the light changed and I was off. I heard him yell from somewhere behind me. She is mirrored with. The rest of the drowned out, my name is Samir, he said the next day. And very shyly he asked, what's yours? So he's asking, what is your name? It was incredible. My bicycle bobbed. My name is Samir too. So the boy's name was Samir. I said, what? His eyes lit up. Yes, I grinned at him. It's another name of Hanuman fathers, you know. So now you're Samir Ek and I'm Samir Do. So uh they have some similarities like you're one Samir one and I am Samir two. Like that we'll fix it one name. He said trumpantly. Something like that, I answered, and then I held out my hand. Hatmelu, Samido, his hand nested in mine like a little bird. So he was touching her hand. It was like a little bird. I could still feel its warmth as I cycled away. So he felt that warmth in her hand. The next day, he did not have his usual smile for me. There is a trouble in Merode, he said. Many people are being killed there in the roads. I looked at the headlines. Communal roads, it blast. But Samir, I began. I'm Muslim Samir, he said, answer. And all of my people are in Meerut. Meerut is one place. Her relatives, her mother, and all was there. His eyes filled with tears. When I touched his shoulder, he could not look up. He was not at the crossing the day after, neither the day after nor ever again. And no newspaper in English or Hindi can tell me where my Samito has gone. So the next 2 days or another days, he is not there. So the Samir is searching, where is my Samito? While Samir Ek is more familiar with English, Samir Do speaks Hindi. Although they both are more at home in different languages, they still communicate with each other. So they are different language, still they can communicate. They made the effort to do so because this was what was important to them. So they found each other very comfortable to talk. Samir Ek and Samir Do also come from different religious and culture backgrounds. While Samir Ek is a Hindu and Samir Do is a Muslim. Different religious and cultural backgrounds, such as there are an aspects of diversity. So they are different religious, even though they are similar to each other with their names or some other things. Next, in addition to their diverse religions and cultural backgrounds, there are other ways in which Samir Ek and Samir Do are different from each other. For example, while Samir Ek goes to school, Samir Do sells newspaper. Did not have the opportunity to attend the school. So Samir, though, have no opportunities to go for the school. Perhaps you have noticed that there are several people in the area where you live who are poor and who do not have enough money to eat, wear clothes, and something not even a place to live. So, some of the peoples are like that, right? But they are very poor. They are different from us. This difference is not the same as the one we have seen earlier. Here, we are talking not of difference but of inequality. This is inequality. This is not a difference. Inequality. We have something, they don't have that. Like that, that is inequality. Inequality comes about. when a person does not have the resource and opportunity that are available to other persons. The caste system is another example of inequality. What is the example for inequality? The caste system. According to this, society was divided into different groups depending upon their work. So, depending upon their work, we have divided them according to their caste. That people did not did and they were supposed to do remain in those groups. So, if your parents were potters, you could only become a potter, nothing else. Some of them like that, right? If they are following the generation works, what they have, their parents, their grandparents did, like that. And because you were not supposed to change your profession, in some of them that they have some rules, you should not change the profession like that. It was not considered necessary for you to know anything more than what you need in your professions. This created a situation of inequality. So this situation creates, that is, inequality. Okay, children. Next, we'll see in the next section. We'll stop here. Still now, what we have learned, learn in your home. Okay, children. We'll see in the next section.